Now, chapter 2. This is going to be a lot of people's favorite chapter just because it's solely focused on technicals. So we'll get into it. So we're going to start with the fair value gap. So the FVG, fair value gap, or it is also known as imbalance. Okay, either or, they both mean the same thing. I don't know why there are so many different names for the same thing in Forex, but there just is. So an imbalance is when there is not sell side delivery matched with buy side liquidity, and vice versa. At each level within the market, you want to see an equal and fair opportunity for buyers and sellers. When price moves aggressively in one direction, an imbalance is always created, and this imbalance has to be rebalanced. That is how the algorithm works. Let's go back to lesson 1 where we talk about what the algorithm books off. Rebalancing inefficiencies. A fair value gap is a type of inefficiency. The algorithm has to offer a fair and equal opportunity for both parties. Okay, this is how we have liquid markets. Okay, if you want to buy an area, there has to be a seller. That's how it works. If you wanted to sell at 1.22, let's say price is 1.22, but nobody wants to buy, can you sell at that level? No. Same way if you wanted to buy an apple, but nobody's selling apples, can you buy that apple? Nope. Here we have a bullish fair value gap or imbalance. This candle here, as it is marked out, this here is an imbalance in price. For an imbalance to be formed, there has to be 3 candles. If this candle wasn't here, we couldn't call this a fair value gap. You have to wait for this candle to finish, and then it is a fair value gap. Right? You see, within the 2 lines I drew, this is the imbalance. I drew those lines from the wick of the candle. So this wick is drawn from this wick to this wick. What this represents is only one side was offered. Only buyers were here. You see here and here, there were sellers offered. Okay? Here, there were no sellers offered, which means there is an imbalance in price. It is not balanced. There's only buyers. There needs to be sellers here. Okay? Within these lines, obviously represents an area of price that is imbalanced. Here, only one way of price is offered, makes it an imbalance. These are key areas that the algorithms seek to rebalance. There are many more to be taught, but this is one of my favorites to trade off. I love to trade off fair value gaps paired with maybe a mitigation block or a breaker block, right? This is an imbalance, okay? Now, an example for a bearish imbalance is drawn from here and it is drawn from here. This only sellers were offered in the market, only sells. So price needs to come back and give buyers an opportunity to get in. That's how an imbalance works, right? The algorithm seeks these because it's unbalanced price range. So here we are higher time frame bearish. We are bearish on the higher time frames. Price, I don't know, I spelled that wrong, is seeking sell side liquidity. It has aggressively moved to the downside. You see this aggressive move? Cool. Let's ignore this bit here now for now, but it leaves a fair value gap here. This is a fair value gap left. After this candle is closed, the fair value gap has been created. We now wait for this to be traded to, because on the way to delivering to sell side liquidity, what does the market need to do first? Rebalance inefficiencies. It needs a balanced price range. This picture is a follow-up of this, okay? Price then comes up, fills, makes it a balanced price range, and then continues down. Okay? This happens over and over and over again in the market. Fair value gaps get filled, price range is balanced, so then what does the market then seek? Then seeks liquidity. After the price range is balanced, liquidity. That is it. Remember, I told you it all comes down to what the algorithm books off. So let's mark out a few. So on the 4 hour, we have here, there's still 3 hours left of this candle. So is this a fair value gap? No, this is not a fair value gap. Is this a fair value gap? Yes, it is. All right. Now, we literally draw from here and we draw from here. We look to the left and we look to the right of it. Everything within this candle is a imbalance or an imbalance. Okay. Now, obviously, not every single imbalance is going to be respected. Okay, because remember the last episode where we say if we are bullish, we want bearish arrays to be disrespected. So let's say price disregards this inefficiency and we trade right through it. We close here. It is likely that we are seeking liquidity. Okay. Same way for here. Price cut through this and went higher. We disrespected this. That's how you can tell if we are bullish or bearish. You see how price, let's ignore this for a minute. Price comes down and moves up. That is respected this fair value gap, right? So let's draw this out. This has been respected. Okay, as you can see from the wick, we close at it pretty much, and then we move away. And after this candle, you can kind of be certain that okay, we're respecting bullish arrays. We're going to sell side liquidity, and we did, right? That's sort of how it works. And then as you start to learn these inefficiencies, start to see where it comes to, right? So see how this didn't really offer a fair opportunity to get in. We only just come into the discount, right? It is unfortunate, but you see this, hold on. We can all agree this is swing low. We can all agree this is swing high. Let's get rid of these two. Okay, swing low to swing high on a bullish example. Price is coming down. What is here? Fair value gap. Now if there are two fair value gaps, you just need to monitor price. Okay, you maybe go up a time frame. You get a clearer picture. Price comes into the OTE and aggressively moves away. This happens so much on the markets. What does it seek after rebalancing that inefficiency? It goes and seeks highs, old highs where there is resting liquidity. That is pretty much as basic as it can get.